do have something to tell you.
Don't do that.
Outlander fans are reeling after one of the most shocking moments in the series' history. In a heartbreaking twist, Jamie Fraser, portrayed by Sam Heughan, finally confessed a secret affair to Claire, played by Caitriona Balfe, leaving viewers stunned and Claire's world shattered. The emotional scene showcased Jamie at his most vulnerable, torn between loyalty, guilt, and the crushing weight of his revelation. For years, Claire and Jamie's love story has stood as one of television's most iconic romances, spanning centuries, wars, and countless obstacles. Yet, this shocking confession has shaken the very foundation of their legendary bond. Claire's reaction was nothing short of devastating. Audiences watched as her face reflected heartbreak, betrayal, and disbelief, a performance that once again highlighted Caitriona Balfe's brilliance on screen. For fans, the moment felt like a knife through the heart, with many taking to social media to express their anguish, anger, and shock. Quote, "Jamie and Claire have survived everything, but this? I can't believe it," unquote, one fan wrote. Another posted, "Sam Heughan just broke my heart with that confession. I never thought I'd see Jamie betray Claire like this," unquote. The scene has quickly become a talking point within the Outlander fandom, sparking debates about whether Jamie's actions are forgivable and what this means for his relationship with Claire moving forward. Some fans defend Jamie, pointing to the impossible situations he's been placed in, while others believe the affair is an unforgivable betrayal of the love story that defined the series. What makes this revelation even more shocking is how it changes the dynamic of the upcoming storylines. With the final season of Outlander already promising high stakes and emotional farewells, this twist adds yet another layer of tension, ensuring fans will be glued to their screens until the very last episode. Sam Heughan himself has previously spoken about Jamie's complexities, hinting that the character's flaws are what make him so human. Caitriona Balfe has also emphasized Claire's resilience, but even the strongest characters have breaking points, and this may be Claire's most painful trial yet. As the dust settles from this bombshell, fans are left wondering, can Jamie and Claire's love survive this ultimate betrayal, or is this the moment that finally tears them apart?
Outlander's final season is in sight, and the show's stars stopped by the TV Insider and TV Guide magazine video and portrait studio at San Diego Comic-Con to tease it. Following their panel presentation with executive producers Meryl Davis and Matthew B. Roberts, stars Sam Heughan, Sophie Skelton, and Richard Rankin dropped in to take photos and offer some hints about where Claire and Jamie Fraser's love story will take viewers when it finally returns to stars. As fans saw in the previously released teaser for Season 8, which was shown at the panel presentation, Jamie's life hangs in the balance when a book written by Claire's first husband, Frank, states as much. Theorizing about the validity of Frank's claims, published posthumously, seems to be Season 8's big conundrum. Then again, it could be a misdirect as Claire came to the staggering realization at the end of Season 7 that her and Jamie's first daughter, Faith, may not have actually died at birth as she believed. While answers for Season 8 loom on the horizon as it was announced the final chapter will debut in early 2026, Heughan, Skelton, and Rankin did their best to offer a brief glimpse behind the curtain by offering up about 3 words each on how they'd describe the season. "I'm gonna go for nostalgic," Skelton, who plays Jamie and Claire's daughter Brianna in the series, says amid Rankin and Heughan's musings sexy Rankin offers. As Skelton reiterates nostalgic, Rankin also advises that it's a dangerous season, hinting at the raised stakes of this concluding story. Meanwhile, Heughan's first pick is heartbreaking, but before you can ponder that for too long, he adds, eternal. After all, Jamie and Claire's love is so strong that it would endure forever. While they couldn't say too much else, you won't want to miss their lovable banter in the full video segment above. The Outlander journey, now in its final chapter, has unfolded over 12 years, woven with time travel, sweeping landscapes, enduring love, and enduring tragedy. At San Diego Comic-Con in July 2025, Sam Heughan, Sophie Skelton, and Richard Rankin stood on stage alongside showrunner Matthew B. Roberts and executive producer Meryl Davis. Their reflections painted a picture of a series wrapping up with raw emotion, longing, and a sense of both closure and mourning. Fans were primed for a season described as emotional, very charged, and deeply nostalgic. "We are shooting the last season, Season 8, Heughan confirmed, marking the beginning of an end that fans have been anticipating and dreading for some time as he and colleagues gathered for the table read. A ritual often loaded with sentiment, the atmosphere shifted from routine to deeply moving. Held in a castle set and accompanied by bagpipers playing the Sky Boat song, Heughan confessed, "I was gone. I started crying. A lifetime of memories, characters, and relationships came flooding back in that moment, reminding the cast that they were saying goodbye not only to roles, but to a family forged on set." At the Comic-Con panel, Heughan reflected on how the final season wasn't about escalating to something bigger than what came before, but rather delivering a story true to the characters, giving them space to resolve their conflicts. "Honestly, the idea wasn't to outdo earlier seasons but simply to create a really good season of Outlander that would let Jamie, Claire, Brianna, and Roger deal with the conflicts in front of them, grief, goodbyes, and shared history for Sophie Skelton and Richard Rankin, the actors behind Brianna and Roger. The end of Outlander felt like losing a family." In a joint interview, Skelton spoke of the emotional weight of wrapping a decade-long project. "To do 10 years on a show is pretty rare. When the final script came around and was read out in a read-through, tears flowed. Once one person goes, everyone goes." She continued, "To get rid of a constant family that you've had for that long is quite sad. It's a grieving process, but she found solace in Brianna's arc. She's the woman that she wanted to be. That's a very peaceful place to leave a character." Rankin echoed the sentiment, describing an immediate rush of loss on the last day. The absence of stepping into those characters' shoes again is something he had to come to terms with. Final farewells and shifting time. The emotional core of Season 7, and anticipated again in Season 8, is rooted in the pain of farewell and the acute theme of family. In Season 7, Bree and Roger faced an agonizing decision when newborn Amanda was diagnosed with a life-threatening heart condition. Claire told them that modern medicine would be required, medicine unavailable in the 1700s. That moment crystallized a very final farewell as they chose to return to their time through the stones for the sake of their child's survival. Skelton described the decision as not really a decision, it's a necessity. Rankin held faint hope the characters could reunite someday, but acknowledged the uncertainty of time travel and its risks. This timeline shift also provided fresh creative energy, as the story resumed in both the Revolutionary War era and the 1980s. Skelton enjoyed filming in a studio and decked in 80s style, calling it almost felt like a different show business insider. Moments of levity and heartbreak. Despite the tears, the cast experienced surprising bursts of laughter in the most poignant scenes. A goodbye sequence filmed between Roger and the Fraser clan had the cast on the verge of tears, until Rankin's pocket revealed the day's snacks, adding unintended comedy. Rappers fell out alongside gems, forcing the actors to fight to maintain the emotional tone through giggles. Carrying the weight of history across all these reflections, a consistent motif is Outlander's powerful depiction of time as both a curse and a gift. Characters are tethered physically and emotionally to multiple lives across centuries, each goodbye reverberating through time. For the cast, stepping away means leaving behind not just careers, but identities and bonds shaped by every close-up and location far from modern life. Heughan remarked at Comic-Con, "There are so many memories. It has been almost 11 years of my life. I have so many friends, and so many amazing memories." Skelton and Rankin's journey also reflects this, becoming so entwined with their characters that the end of Outlander feels like the end of a legacy and new beginnings. Though the countdown to Series 8's early 2026 premiere is on, Outlander's world won't vanish. A prequel series, Blood of My Blood, exploring Jamie and Claire's parents, is already in development, keeping the universe alive even as the original story reaches its end. But for now, the final season is poised to be one of resonance full-circle moments, and the quiet power of farewells. It will let the Frasers, Mackenzies, and their loved ones face their final chapter in ways that feel earned, emotional and true. As viewers, we brace ourselves, not for new stories, but for a goodbye that feels like the end of home seen through the eyes of characters we've loved across time. As Season 8 unfolds, the pressure is not just to bring closure, but to do so with emotional and narrative integrity. Outlander has always operated with a rare blend of sweeping drama and intimate character work, and according to the cast and creatives, Season 8 will lean heavily on that intimacy. Sam Heughan teased that Jamie Fraser's arc isn't heading towards some massive heroic send-off, but towards something more reflective. It's about answering the questions that matter to him. His relationships, his loyalties, and whether he's lived the life he was meant to live. For a character who's fought in wars, survived multiple imprisonments, and lived in constant danger, Jamie's peace may come not in the form of physical safety but emotional resolution. Similarly, Claire Fraser, portrayed by Caitriona, remains at the center of the narrative as both a time traveler and emotional compass. Her scientific mind has always struggled with the constraints of the 18th century, and one of the most anticipated questions in Season 8 is whether she'll find a place to belong, or once again face a decision between centuries, between survival and sacrifice. Sophie Skelton explained that Brianna's journey has shifted from that of a reluctant time traveler to a fully realized woman of two worlds. She never wanted this life, but now, she's shaped by it. She's stronger for it. Her journey, especially with motherhood, has become one of legacy. How to Raise Children with Roots in Two Timelines. Richard Rankin added that Roger Mackenzie's spiritual and emotional evolution is nearing a quiet climax. He's no longer the academic, fish out of water. He's a man of faith, of family, and has found purpose through pain. For both Brie and Roger, the 1980s timeline opens new opportunities, but also a haunting disconnect from the family left behind in the past. This tension is expected to be a major narrative and emotional driver in the final episodes. The emotional tolls of playing time travelers. Filming Outlander has never been just another job for the cast. It's required intense physical labor, often in cold, remote Scottish locations, as well as navigating emotionally dense material, with characters who suffer, lose, and heal in cycles. Sam Heughan said that stepping into Jamie's boots wasn't easy. Every season takes a toll. You carry the weight of this man's choices, his grief, his fight for freedom. And you carry it for months. Despite his pride in Jamie's journey, he admitted that letting go is hard. It's difficult to stop walking in his shoes after so long. He's a part of me now. Sophie Skelton shared that playing Brianna pushed her outside her comfort zone regularly. From childbirth scenes to grief to joy, I've had to dig deep emotionally. It's been draining, but in a good way. It's changed me as an actor and as a person. Richard Rankin described the role of Roger as one of the most rewarding and exhausting experiences of his career. He's not a traditional hero. He questions things. He's deeply philosophical. That meant I had to be honest with myself to play him truthfully. When you live in that headspace, it's hard to switch off. How the cast said goodbye. The emotional goodbyes have already begun behind the scenes. Filming for Season 8 has been underway throughout much of 2025, and multiple actors have wrapped their final scenes. Sam Heughan recently posted a heartfelt message after wrapping a major sequence. Last day in the Highlands. Thank you to the landscape that gave us so much beauty, and to the people who made this journey unforgettable. Sophie Skelton, in a quiet post shared with fans, simply wrote, "Goodbye Brie, you've changed my life." The final table reads, often regarded as the most emotional part of wrapping a series, have been intense. As Heughan recalled, the last table read he attended ended with not just a standing ovation, but silence. We all just sat there, staring. No one wanted to be the first to leave. Meryl Davis, executive producer, shared that tissues were a necessity for almost every read-through of the final episodes. There are scenes that will destroy people, in the best way. They are beautiful and painful and honest, a show that changed television, and lives. When Outlander first premiered in 2014, few could have predicted its cultural and emotional impact. Adapted from Diana Gabaldon's beloved book series, the show quickly built a passionate, global fanbase, and carved out a unique space on television. A genre-blending epic mixing romance, historical fiction, fantasy, and political drama, it also challenged industry standards, especially around female-led narratives and depictions of trauma. Claire Fraser, portrayed with grit and intelligence by Caitriona, became one of TV's most iconic characters. Her layered romance with Jamie Fraser wasn't just steamy, it was emotionally complex, rooted in mutual respect and resilience. Sam Heughan has often spoken about how proud he is of what the show has achieved, Especially its depictions of enduring love under impossible circumstances. It's about connection. That no matter the time or place, love is worth fighting for. Richard Rankin pointed to the show's impact on male vulnerability. Roger isn't your typical male character on TV. He cries, he falters, he forgives. I think that matters. Fan impact and the shadow of Goodbye. The show's fanbase, known as the Outlander fandom, has played a major role in keeping the series thriving. Their passionate response, from conventions to social media campaigns, helped extend Outlander's run far beyond its originally expected arc. Sam Heughan noted, "This fandom isn't just passionate. They are loyal, informed, and kind. We wouldn't be here without them." Sophie Skelton agreed. "We've grown up with the fans. They've seen us through our own life stages, and we've seen them through theirs. It's a real relationship." As the show concludes, that relationship doesn't simply vanish. Fans are already organizing global viewing parties for the final season, launching farewell art projects, and even writing letters to the cast and crew thanking them for the past decade. Legacy beyond the stones. The end of Outlander doesn't mean the end of the Fraser story entirely. Blood of My Blood, a prequel focusing on Jamie Fraser's parents and Claire's lineage, is already in the works. Sam Heughan has confirmed he won't appear in the prequel, but has expressed full support for the project, noting that the world of Outlander is bigger than any one of us. Maril Davis hinted that the prequel will have a very different tone. It's still rooted in love and family, but the challenges of that era, especially the Jacobite unrest, will give it a unique feel. Diana Gabaldon, author of the Outlander novels, is also continuing to expand the book series, ensuring that the story's literary life will outlast the television series. Still, for many, there will never be another Jamie and Claire, or another journey quite like this. Goodbye, but not forgotten. As the final episodes begin airing in early 2026, they will be met with celebration and mourning in equal measure. There's no tidy way to say goodbye to a story that has stretched across centuries, changed lives, and created a legacy of storytelling excellence. For the cast, for the crew, and for the fans, Outlander is more than a show. It's a reminder of the power of love, the resilience of the human spirit, and the timeless truth that some connections can't be broken by time. As Richard Rankin summed up, "It's the end of an era. But what a journey it's been." And as the final notes of the Skyboat song fade for the last time, the echo of this story, its heartbreaks, its passion, its wonder, will remain. Fan sites are important. They have all the information for our favorite shows, and we know that the news we're getting is coming from people who do love the property in question. But sometimes, those sites have to come to an end, and it is a sad day for us all. Which is why saying goodbye to Outlander Online is not a happy occasion. The website, which was dedicated to the world of Outlander, posted a series of images on Instagram sharing that the popular fan site would be coming to an end because the site itself took too much time away from the moderators. "After 11 years of covering Outlander, we've come to the decision that we won't be able to do it anymore," the post reads. "It's not a decision we've made lightly. We know how much fans rely on the site. To be honest, we've been thinking about it for a long time. Being on social media as much as we are and updating the site and all the social media accounts linked to it is too much work and has taken an emotional toll on us." The post goes on to say that it has taken a lot of time away from our friends and family. "We can't keep doing this to ourselves," much like the show itself. The publication started in 2014, the same year Outlander premiered. The Caitriona Barth and Sam Heughan-led series has amassed a large following throughout its run, with Season 8 of the series bringing Jamie and Claire's love story to its conclusion. The site, which has over 25,000 followers on Instagram, kept fans up to date with news, interviews, and more from the series. But one of the reasons that the team behind Outlander Online have chosen to stop the site is due to the increasing use of AI and deep fakes in the world. In this age of AI and deep fakes, we don't think it's a good idea to keep the site up. There's way too much on there. The site will still be up for another month. Please grab what you need on there during that time. Outlander Online thanks their fans. In their closing post, the two moderators shared that they were grateful to the fans who have made their site special. "To all the fans that have been with us from the start or joined us along the way, thank you. You are what has kept us going for so long. We'll miss you and miss chatting with you. This fandom has given us a lot and we're so grateful to you. We'll check in once in a while." The site is coming to an end as the new spin-off series, Outlander, Blood of My Blood, has begun airing on Starz. The site closed their statement with a quote from one of creators of Winnie the Pooh, A.A. Milne, writing, "It's not easy saying goodbye and it breaks our heart to do it. In the long run we firmly believe it is for the best for us." In the words of A.A. Milne, how lucky am I to have something that makes it so hard to say goodbye. For more than a decade, one online destination stood at the heart of the Outlander fandom. Since launching in June 2013, Outlander TV News had become a go-to source for episode recaps, interviews, behind-the-scenes insights, and fervent fan discussion. But as the long-awaited final season approached, the site's founder shared a heartfelt message the site would be winding down. In a November 2024 post, the site's creator, Sarah, wrote, "After over 10 years, the spark has gone out." Citing exhaustion and frustration with the roller coaster of promotional breaks between episodes, she explained that while she still deeply loves the show and books, the drive to cover every development had vanished. The message struck a chord with the broader Outlander community, many of whom had grown up alongside the site from its earliest days. Outlander TV News stood out for its dedication to both source material and screen adaptation. Where many fan platforms drifted toward clickbait or commercial tie-ins, this site remained rooted in thoughtful commentary, news updates, and community contributions. Over the years, it amassed a loyal readership, becoming a beloved virtual home for fans navigating the shifting timelines of show production, book series progress, and global fandom gatherings. Stopping coverage of Outlander TV News is not just the end of a site, it's the sunset of a chapter in Outlander fandom, one where online spaces filled with devotion and careful storytelling flourished amid the gigantism of social media trends and algorithmic noise. The burnout behind the closing. Sarah's message did not sugarcoat the challenges she faced. The evolving social media climate, particularly on Twitter or X, where the platform removed its block feature and became overrun with trolls and bots, had made moderating interactions both emotionally draining and time-consuming. Even the usual sources of joy, casting news, episode sneak peeks, fandom creativity, couldn't overcome the fatigue of needing to constantly keep pace. Sam Heughan has told fans to watch this space as he hinted at plans to open his own cocktail bar, possibly right here in Scotland. The Outlander star, who runs a company called Sassenach Spirits selling whiskey, gin, and tequila, has a new book out called The Cocktail Diaries, including favorite recipes and tales from his adventures in the alcohol trade. In a new interview with Access Hollywood, he was asked if he would ever consider opening his own bar, and the 45-year-old's reply was very interesting indeed. He said, "I would love to. I'd probably spend far too much time in there. We've been talking about it for quite a while, and I do have some kind of cool news that we'll be talking about later in the year. So watch this space. But yeah, there's a lot of research going on." Asked if the bar will be located in Scotland, he said, "I couldn't possibly say. Maybe after a couple of whiskeys I'll let you know." The star could be following in the footsteps of Tiger Woods and Justin Timberlake, whose new bar, cinema, and entertainment venue, called T-Squared Social, is due to open in St. Andrews in a few weeks. Other celebrities in the hospitality trade include Little Mix star Jade Thirlwall, who has a cocktail bar in her hometown of South Shields, Newcastle, and actor Idris Elba, who has a cocktail bar and a wine bar in London. Meanwhile, famous pub owners include Jeremy Clarkson, David Beckham, Guy Ritchie, Jodie Kidd, and Ed Sheeran. Heughan was also asked about his most memorable cocktails, and listed a few, including a delicious Bloody Mary made with tequila that he drank on a baking hot day in the agave fields in the mountains of Jalisco. But his go-to recipes are an amazing appletini and a chocolate Negroni, which went down very well at Christmas in the Heughan household. He said, "I love to sort of create interesting things. It's so fun, and some work, some don't. But I think that's the joy of cocktail making. Sam's amazing appletini, I took the apples off my tree in my garden. I'm very lucky. They are completely inedible. They are way too sour. Scottish apples. However, get some green apples, slice them up, equal parts vodka and gin. Just steep them over 1 or maybe 2 nights in the fridge, strain it out. You get this beautiful golden green color that comes from the skins. Really imparts a lot of the malic acid, a lot of that green freshness. Stir it down with vermouth and you make this amazingly balanced, very Moorish appletini. Steering confidently into the post-Outlander era, Sam Heughan is embracing bold new chapters both on and off screen. Fresh from the emotional farewell to Jamie Fraser in the 8th and final season of Outlander, the Scottish star is channeling his creative energy into a tantalizing new venture, what appears to be a sophisticated bar project. In a recent, electrifying conversation, marking a thrilling pivot from his on-screen life, Heughan not only teased this upcoming establishment but also shared his personal go-to cocktails and the deeply rooted inspirations behind them. It's a rare glimpse into a visionary blending of his passions, Scottish heritage, craft spirits, hospitality, and a love for imaginative libations. A whisper of something big, the bar project hint. Though Sam hasn't officially announced the project, clues have emerged during his latest interviews and appearances. Sources indicate he's exploring a venue rife with character, likely inspired by the rich atmosphere of his adopted cities, particularly Edinburgh and Glasgow. In a noteworthy interview at the Edinburgh Bar Show, Heughan reflected nostalgically on his teenage years spending time at what is now Wildcat on Tarvett Street. He remembered, "I used to sit in the corner there. It wasn't great cocktails in those days, but there's so many incredible cocktail bars. Some of the best in the world are in Edinburgh. The best bartenders, the best produce. It's so innovative." This fond recollection carried subtext. His glowing praise for Edinburgh's evolving cocktail scene, combined with his roots in the environment, feels less like idle commentary and more like the groundwork for something he might be crafting, perhaps a bar that blends nostalgia, innovation, and a sense of place, further fueling speculation. Heughan's Sassenach Spirits, his established whiskey and gin brand, enjoyed prominent exhibition in a bespoke pop-up boutique at Kimpton Charlotte Square Hotel in Edinburgh during the Fringe Festival in August 2024. Guests could sample cocktails like the Strawberry Sassenach Negroni, which Heughan curated especially for the adjoining Alibaba bar. While not a full bar launch, the immersive brand experience, thoughtfully paired with premium dramatics, hints at Heughan's evolving vision for physical hospitality spaces. Moreover, his long-standing admiration for Glasgow's bars, like Wee Whiskey Bar and the atmospheric Ben Nevis Bar, the latter described by him as special for its Gaelic speakers and live traditional music, could further shape what his dream establishment might become. All these elements ripple with potential. Is Heughan inching toward launching a bar that marries the intimate, culture-rich spirit of his favorite Scottish bars with his own personality and his spirits? Define mad scientist, and Sam Heughan would raise his hand. He described the gin development process as akin to a meth lab in my house, distilling over 40 variations and narrowing them to a final 12, even leaving gin and tonics out overnight to assess how flavors evolved. This obsession ensured the final gin stands up not only on its own but in a cocktail. Importantly, this wouldn't just cater to Outlander fans, but anyone seeking an experience that feels anchored in history but elevated by contemporary design and hospitality. What experts are saying: an unfolding legacy in spirits. In the competitive world of spirits, branding is everything, but authenticity is rare. Heughan's brand stands apart for its genuine emotional investment and long-term vision. Louise McIntyre, a Scottish whiskey journalist, recently noted in a column Sam isn't dabbling. He's investing, emotionally, creatively, and economically, in Scotland's food and drink future. If he opens a bar, it won't be another celebrity cash grab. It will be the extension of a deeply personal narrative. Others in the industry highlight the timing, with whiskey tourism on the rise and Scotland seeing increased foot traffic from cultural tourism, particularly in post-Outlander years. A venue with Heughan's name on it could revitalize local interest and even spark job creation. And while Sassenach gin and whiskey are exported to markets like the US, Canada, and Germany, the idea of a home base, a spiritual home if you will, could anchor the brand. In a new, meaningful way, the fan reaction anticipation reaches boiling point. If fan forums, Reddit threads, and Facebook groups are anything to go by, a potential Sam Heughan bar has already reached mythic status. Fans have begun theorizing about possible names: the Sassenach's Hearth, Fraser's Reserve, the Highland Pour, and even playful titles like Barlander. Some fans have pledged to plan trips around any grand opening. "I already went to Scotland once for the Outlander tour," one fan wrote. "If Sam opens a bar, I'll go again. No question." There's even a groundswell calling for the bar to double as an event venue. Imagine book readings, gin masterclasses, charity nights for my peak challenge, or themed dinners inspired by the Scottish Highlands. In fact, if tied strategically with MPC, the bar could even become a wellness-adjacent space. Cocktails made with foraged botanicals, clean mixers, alcohol-free alternatives for sober guests, blending indulgence with intentionality. Future-proofing. Could it go global should the first venture succeed? It's entirely plausible that Heughan may look toward expansion. His brand is already global. Why not develop satellite bars in whisker-loving cities like New York, Toronto, Munich, or Melbourne? A Heughan-endorsed cocktail bar could cater to niche travel groups, whiskey tourism, and global spirits events. More importantly, it would set a gold standard for what a celebrity spirits venture can look like when done with passion and authenticity. Heughan has said in the past that he sees the spirits world as a long-term pursuit. I want to be doing this 10, 20 years from now. He told Forbes this isn't about capitalizing on a moment. It's about building something that lasts. A slow pour of possibility in the grand scheme of Sam Heughan's career. Actor, author, producer, philanthropist, entrepreneur. A bar might seem like a small step. But in truth, it could be one of the most impactful. Whereas film and television come and go, an inspired physical space becomes a lasting legacy. It's a place fans can visit, families can celebrate, and stories can be told again and again, over candlelight, clinking glasses, and carefully crafted cocktails. For Heughan, this isn't just about what's next. It's about coming full circle. From the boy who sat quietly in a modest Edinburgh bar to the man who now creates spirits celebrated around the world, his journey may very well culminate in a place where memory, taste, and storytelling unite. And if that future includes sipping a Rob Roy made by Heughan's own hand, in a bar built on his story, well, all the better. The lure of Outlander has been a massive tourism drawcard for Scotland, and nowhere was the appeal more obvious than at an event that has been one of the hottest tickets of the Edinburgh International Book Festival, despite a slightly tenuous link to literature in the form of a publication about cocktails from around the world. Tickets to the festival event featuring Outlander star Sam Heughan, the book's author, sold out within 15 minutes. But that didn't stop fans traveling from the likes of Belgium, Rome, and even the US, some without tickets, just to catch a glimpse of Heughan. We can't believe we're going to see him. American-born amateur bagpipe player Lucia Snyderman said. He seems like a really lovely person. Outlander may not be to everyone's tastes, but Scotland can certainly raise a glass to its enduring appeal. It was billed as a modest offering, a $14 cocktail masterclass titled Sam Heughan on the Rocks at this year's Edinburgh International Book Festival, but what it ignited was anything but small scale. As the word sold out flashed across festival literature and social media, a tidal wave of fans descended upon Edinburgh. Some traveled from as far away as Belgium, Rome, and the United States, undeterred by ticket scarcity or the slight literary sidestep in favor of mixology. This fervor is a testament to Sam Heughan's magnetic appeal and, by extension, to the persistent cultural weight of Outlander, a franchise that, years after its debut, continues to cast a long shadow across global audiences. Ticket frenzy and festival response. In late June 2025, festival organizers issued a warning after the huge demand for Sam Heughan's event became clear. Tickets sold out within hours of their release, prompting the Edinburgh International Book Festival to issue a statement urging caution. Only tickets purchased directly from the official site would be honored, as many fans had resorted to unofficial channels. The event, scheduled for August 23, was clearly the hottest ticket in town. Fans around the world. One American fan, Jessica Torrey, shared her disappointment via the festival's social media. She'd been up at 4 a.m. in Minnesota when the queue opened, with her position moving swiftly, but still not fast enough to secure one of the mere 300 available tickets. Dream trip to Scotland coming up. This would have been amazing, she lamented. Yet her tone embodied hope. Going to continue manifesting this. Not giving up all hope. Others, like Lucia Snyderman, an American amateur bagpipe player, were simply elated to be there at all. We can't believe we're going to see him, she said, struck by those few precious moments of proximity to the actor in the flesh. The Scotsman cocktail class meets celebrity spotlight. When August 23 arrived, the event proved unforgettable. Positioned less as a literary discourse and more as a spirited experience, Heughan guided the audience through cocktail demonstrations drawn from his soon-to-be-published book, The Cocktail Diaries, a spirited adventure, due in September. He regaled the crowd with stories behind his spirits company, Sassenach Spirits, including its wild Highland gin, and even teased a forthcoming tequila line. Final applause came with the memorable flourish of a lone piper playing the audience out. Outlander's enduring power. That a mixology event could ignite this level of enthusiasm speaks directly to the enduring power of Outlander and Heughan's attachment to it. While the screen adaptation's final season awaits its debut in early 2026, its resonance remains undimmed. The series has contributed to Scotland's tourism boom and elevated both Heughan and his character, Jamie Fraser, into cultural icons. The Scotsman Heughan's path to multifaceted stardom. Heughan's career is no one-trick pony. A trained actor, he began on the Scottish stage, eventually landing the role of Jamie Fraser in Star's Outlander, earning accolades and climbing to international fame. He's also built a successful brand empire. In 2020, his collaboration with Graham McTavish produced Clanlands, a best-selling travelogue that topped multiple New York Times and Publishers Weekly charts. In the same year, he launched the Sassenach whiskey, winning double gold medals at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition in 2020 and 2021. That cocktail masterclass was not an offshoot. It was a natural extension of a store plane firmly ablaze, a media-driven cultural dynamo. Heughan's appeal has proven powerful enough to transcend screens and stages, stirring tourism, literary interest, fandom, and merchandise. Some fan-led Reddit forums testify to this ripple effect. Discussions about Outlander have spurred travel to Scotland, fitness regimens, and even holiday decor tied to the show's motifs. One fan wrote, "Outlander truly changed my daily life. Learning about Sam Heughan and my peak challenge led me to doing regular workouts, repeatedly visiting Scotland fan conventions." Another observed that tourism up in Scotland rose substantially, propelled in no small part by Outlander's global reach. These anecdotes underline the exposure Outlander and Heughan generate beyond just viewership, a phenomenon still very much alive in 2025. The Edinburgh event. More than just a cocktail night. Why did this particular event strike so large? It wasn't just about cocktails. It was an immersive fan experience that combined personal storytelling, celebrity intimacy, and cultural pride. Edinburgh, a city already pulsating with literary and festival energy, provided the perfect stage. Moreover, the event's connection to an altruistic project added depth. Heughan's book wasn't merely a collection of recipes, it represented his personal journey, his entrepreneurial paths, and his deep connection to Scottish culture. Joining him on stage was journalist and actress Nicola Roy, further blending narrative and performance. The Scotsman. What it all means. With the last season of Outlander approaching, the fervor surrounding Heughan shows that its legacy isn't waning. Instead, fans seem hungry for more, whether that's cocktails, travelogues, or whiskey. Heughan's presence on stage affirmed that his star continues to rise across mediums. It also validated Scotland's place as the beating heart of this cultural phenomenon, welcoming pilgrims who consume the fiction and reality it inspires. Looking forward as autumn approaches, Heughan has another Edinburgh appearance on the horizon, this time to promote Waypoints, his first full memoir. Slated for October, the event at McEwan Hall has similarly sold out, underscoring that anticipation for Heughan-led events remains as fierce as ever. Whether cocktail diaries or memoir nights, his ability to catalyze crowds points to a deft career built on authenticity, versatility, and fandom. Final thoughts. Sam Heughan's sold-out cocktail masterclass in Edinburgh wasn't just a hit, it was a confirmation. Outlander, its star, and the culture they helped cultivate are not fading forces. They are living stories, mature, yet pulsing with life. Fans aren't just watching, they are engaging, traveling, immersing, and driving the narrative forward. And as Heughan navigates between whiskey, memoirs, and citizen of storytelling, one thing holds. The force he represents is only growing stronger. Since its premiere in 2014, Outlander has done more than simply entertain. Adapted from Diana Gabaldon's best-selling novels, the show follows World War II nurse Claire Randall, who time travels to 18th-century Scotland, where she meets the dashing Highland warrior Jamie Fraser, portrayed by Sam Heughan. The combination of historical fiction, romance, political drama, and time travel may have sounded niche, but it became a cultural juggernaut. Heughan's portrayal of Jamie Fraser wasn't just well received, it sparked an emotional and cultural wave that gave fans more than just entertainment. In the age of social media fandoms and cultural tourism, Outlander evolved into a lifestyle for many. Fan-led tours, merchandise shops, online communities, and literary deep dives have blossomed worldwide. Scotland saw a dramatic rise in tourists, many specifically travelling to visit Outlander filming locations such as Down Castle, Cooros, and the Glenfinnan Monument. Visit Scotland even launched official Outlander-inspired travel guides, a move that proved immensely successful. The show is directly credited with bringing millions of dollars into the Scottish tourism economy over the past decade. It's been dubbed the Outlander effect, a phrase now adopted by marketers and cultural bodies. The reluctant yet grateful icon. Despite his fame, Heughan has frequently expressed humility about his celebrity status. In interviews, he's credited the fans for his career's longevity and spoken candidly about being overwhelmed at times by the attention. But he's also leaned into his role as a cultural ambassador, not only for the show, but for Scotland. In a 2023 BBC interview, he reflected on his roots. There's something humbling about bringing people to Scotland, sharing our stories, landscapes, and language. It goes beyond acting. It's something deeper, something connective. This sentiment underpinned his choice to launch Sassenach Spirits, which highlights Scottish ingredients, heritage, and storytelling. His products, especially the Sassenach whiskey and wild Scottish gin, are more than just drinks. They are tangible pieces of Heughan's personal journey and his broader effort to spotlight Scottish culture worldwide. The literary pivot. The Edinburgh Book Festival appearance was not Heughan's first literary endeavour. In 2020, he and co-star Graham McTavish released Clanlands, which quickly became a bestseller. The success of the travelogue inspired Men in Kilts, a companion travel docuseries. Then came Waypoints, My Scottish Journey, part memoir, part personal reflection, charting Heughan's emotional and physical journey as he hiked the West Highland Way. That book, too, shot to the top of bestseller charts and earned praise for its sincerity and vulnerability. And now, The Cocktail Diaries, a spirited adventure, which blends storytelling, travel, and cocktail culture, takes Heughan's authorial brand in a more playful but equally personal direction. The through line in all his books? Scotland. Whether it's rugged landscapes, Highland heritage, or whiskey-infused anecdotes, Heughan returns again and again to the country that shaped him. A new kind of fandom. The turnout at the Edinburgh Book Festival, just to see Heughan mix a drink and chat for an hour, was more than just a celebrity crush moment. It represented a new breed of fandom, one that is multi-generational, cross-cultural, and deeply committed. Unlike the fleeting nature of many celebrity fanbases, Outlander fans are builders. They organize events, create art and fan fiction, raise money for charity, and follow Heughan's career with almost scholarly focus, and they are fiercely loyal. Many have stuck with the show through its darker plot twists and narrative complexities. They've supported spin-offs, read all 9 of Gabaldon's novels, and tuned in even as the show crossed into newer, more experimental arcs. Heughan has become the human face of that fandom, not just a character on a screen, but someone fans perceive as grounded, passionate, and giving. A digital world fueled by tartan and whiskey. Sam Heughan's online presence helps power his continued popularity. His Instagram feed, filled with hikes, whiskey, book events, and behind-the-scenes Outlander moments, reads like a digital love letter to his fans and his country. His social media is also refreshingly unpretentious. There are no overly polished influencer shots, no cryptic brand teases. Instead, fans see misty mountain tops, wet dogs, Gaelic phrases, hearty Scottish breakfasts, and heartfelt thanks. In many ways, Heughan is a digital anti-celebrity, accessible but not performative. His genuine engagement with fans, especially around charitable projects like My Peak Challenge, has helped build lasting trust. The broader cultural arc. Sam Heughan's career and the Outlander series come at a time when Scottish identity is undergoing a modern revival. The global appetite for Gaelic culture, Celtic mythology, and Highland aesthetics has never been stronger. Heughan, without trying too hard, has become a conduit for that cultural export. Whether it's whiskey, books, or Netflix queues, he's made Scottishness not just visible, but aspirational. Through him, international audiences are introduced to a Scotland that is both ancient and contemporary, romantic and rugged, mystical and modern. In a post-Brexit, culturally fractured Britain, Heughan's global image stands in contrast to divisive politics. He represents a kind of national soft power, charming, creative, and collaborative. Life after Jamie Fraser. The big question on everyone's mind is, what happens after Outlander ends? With the show's 8th and final season set to air in 2026, Heughan's time as Jamie Fraser is winding down. But if recent events are anything to go by, his career is only ramping up. Upcoming roles in major film productions, including rumors of a political thriller and a romantic drama, are already in development. His Spirits company continues to expand into international markets, and his next book tour is expected to break attendance records across the UK and US. There's also speculation of a potential directorial debut. He's hinted in past interviews that storytelling behind the camera could be his next creative horizon, and then there's the possibility of returning to the Outlander universe in another capacity. The prequel, Outlander Blood of My Blood, is currently in production. Fans have already begun lobbying for Heughan to narrate, produce, or even cameo. A legacy still being written. If the buzz around Edinburgh's cocktail masterclass proved anything, it's that Sam Heughan isn't just surviving the post-peak TV era. His thriving in it has shown that actors don't have to be trapped by their breakout roles. With a deft combination of humility, ambition, and authenticity, he's transformed himself from a historical heartthrob into a bona fide cultural icon. The fans remain loyal not just because of Jamie Fraser, but because of Sam Heughan himself, a man who mixes drinks with the same precision as he crafts characters, who writes books that are both heartfelt and humorous, and who brings the Highlands to the world without ever selling them short. The Outlander success may have started in fiction, but thanks to Heughan, it has spilled over into real life, into tourism, literature, commerce, and identity.